I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jackie. Welcome back to Dumb Witch Club.
Yeah, welcome back.
Welcome back. I'm just saying we, because I'm speaking for both of us.
I'm fine with it.
We are enjoying a moment of relative silence right now. I know we are talking.
Yeah, we're talking.
Yeah.
That's not the noise that we have objection to.
Yes. So, people, right? They're everywhere.
You know people, right? You've met people.
Have you met people? Ooh, let me tell you. So we decided to very quickly cleanse our energy right before we started this episode.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Here we are.
We are starting.
We're doing it. We're going. Nothing's perfect. We don't live in a perfect world.
That literally makes me mad every single day.
I know. It's very frustrating.
I know.
Because when you're so close to perfect.
That's what I was going to say. Practically perfect in
Rough.
every way.
It's super rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
I know. Whatever. So, clearly, we're in need of a card pull.
Yeah, we are.
Oh.
OG.
This deck. This deck.
Yeah.
Ooh. Hello.
This
Okay.
deck has stories. We have stories. It's too much. Like, we can't talk about it right now.
No.
We really can't. But this little deck, cute little Lenormand deck by Sarah M. Lyons, and this was her first release of this. I have one of the originals. It's falling apart.
Because it's old and well used and loved.
Yes. She since has a new edition, and she has like a cute little book with it and everything. You should get it. It's adorable and wonderful. But this
deck has been through the ringer with us.
It really has. It's been stolen by the fairies multiple times.
Yes. Got it back every time.
And I was not faithful about that. Jackie was the one that was like, you're going to get it back. You're going to, like, eventually when it's the right time, you're going to get it back. And there was this one time I was like, it's not coming back. And it did. It appeared.
I know. Yeah. Because you are meant to have it. But you're only meant to have it when you're meant to have it.
Yeah, because it's very strong.
It's very strong. So I honestly don't expect some of the wild stuff we've gotten out of this deck in the past. I don't expect that right now. I would just like a little clarity, a little boost maybe. So we'll see.
Yeah, just a little setting of the stage here.
And it's literally called Cute Little Lenormand. Like it's called
that. Yeah, we didn't just say, I know I say everything is cute and little, but this is actually called that.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Okay.
I'm very excited. Let's do it.
Okay. It also is very cute.
It is, and it's little.
It's portable. It's compact.
Mm-hmm. I want this one.
You got it.
The ring.
Oh, the ring.
Ooh, and it's like a diamond ring.
What number
Bling,
is that
bling.
one? 25.
25.
Yeah. So it's, obviously, okay, so with Lenormand, it's pretty cool. I don't know if we've used a Lenormand deck.
We have not. We mentioned it in our card pulling kind of episode, or not card pulling, but our tarot or card episode.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'd mentioned what it is.
Yes, our, what are these cards and what do I do with them?
Yeah, what are these cards even for? I don't know. Look it up. It's back there. You'll find it.
Yeah, if you want to know more. It is a good one. We talk more about tarot and oracle cards and the uses for them.
Yes.
And we touch on Lenormand because I love Lenormand, but I don't think we've used them yet. So Lenormand is kind of like a little bit in between tarot and oracle. It's a little stricter than oracle cards. It's not as free and open-ended, but it's not as strict as tarot. Mm-hmm. So what the ring symbolizes in Lenormand is a pledge, a commitment. You can take it as literal as you want. So it can literally be like a romantic partnership commitment.
Right.
But it doesn't have to be. It can also be just like some type of like pledge or allegiance or something that you're making like at the time.
Oh, well, I'm not entirely sure what that applies to or means like in this moment.
Yeah.
But I like it. I think it's sweet.
I think I have some ideas.
Really?
Yeah, I think I do.
Unshareable ideas?
No, we can share them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I think for one, we decided we were going to clear our energy and kind of move forward, right?
Gosh, yes, we did.
We made a pact to do that.
We made a commitment to do that. You are correct.
Mm-hmm. So that's one thing I thought. But then the other, I think it relates more to what's going on in the why, though.
Okay.
So maybe we can jump into that.
Yeah. Love that.
Okay, cool. Good stuff. I'll touch back on it. I promise.
So, that being said, jumping into the why though.
Why
do you want to bridge what you're talking about to start off with?
Sure, yes. And then you can, go into what you have to say. So what I was thinking with that one is that it relates to our full moon coming up in Capricorn, right? Because, so we've got... So the full moon, and Jackie mentioned this last time.
I'm already seeing it. Keep going.
Yeah, Jackie mentioned last time, so the full moons are always the opposing signs, the poles, right? Mm-hmm. So we get, in these seasons, we get the power of that, right? That opposition.
Yes.
And so I think, this one is really important because, we talked recently too, we did an episode on Cancer energy, and we talked about how emotional and watery it is, and it's about intuition and so forth. So I think with this full moon in Capricorn, it's giving us a way to take all of that intuition and all of those feelings and really align them to action and purpose.
Because that is the Capricorn energy.
Yes.
Which is, as all the polarity energies, really is the fulfillment and completion of each other.
Yes.
So, yes, I love this.
Yeah, so it's a really good opportunity, not just for heart, but for head too. So balancing the two.
And that's where the commitment aspect comes in, right?
Yeah, and making sure that you're reevaluating maybe some of those things that you thought about in the last new moon in Capricorn, and
which was in January,
right? So thinking maybe they were resolution-ish or whatever it was. Yeah. So thinking okay, does that still align? And using that Cancer energy to really tap into your intuition to see am I still feeling that? And if not, what are sort of other ways I can shift that and plans that I can make that are more concrete?
Yes. No, I really love this. And I love how, and maybe this is another a witching hour or an episode, just how every year, because of the way the new and full moons are, when we have the polarity energies twice a year.
Yeah.
So during the full moon in Capricorn, during the sun season in Capricorn, the full moon is in Cancer. Right. And so we kind of see a reflecting back of the themes from that time.
Exactly.
At this time. And that happens, every month as it progresses through the year. So anyways, I love that idea. I love that concept. I love the emotions balancing with the action-oriented kind of commitment aspect, the forward Capricorn energy. Love it.
It's great. And like you mentioned, it connects back to that, which, is a good reason to be journaling about this stuff, which we also talked about in another episode.
We
on
have
our Q&A.
told you guys so much stuff already.
A lot of stuff.
I know. Yeah. And somehow we still have more to say.
I know. We still have more.
Yes. No, I love that. And that's such good reminders. So that is on July 3rd.
July 3rd.
Yes. Amazing.
What else do we have going on?
Well, okay. So my thing, it's not really related to a specific event that's happening this week. But so last episode, we mentioned the Neptune going retrograde.
Yeah.
And I feel in that episode, again, go back and watch it, I had a very, response.
Yeah, you did.
I was oh no, whatever. But then I'm okay, no. So I felt bad about that. So I did a little more looking in, a little more reflecting on this. So I want to talk about this a little bit more.
Okay,
so
good.
It is true that Neptune is in retrograde, actually since June 30th.
Yeah.
Until December 6th of this year. And Neptune goes into retrograde basically every year. So it's a thing. But also, Neptune has been in Pisces since 2011 because it has this really long, orbit. So it's getting near the end of Pisces now. 27 degrees, I think, is where it's at. So it's retrograding, but it's getting ready in the next couple of years to go into Aries. So anyways, so I just feel as always with retrogrades, we are charged to do some reflection. And as a reminder, gosh, these are so many throwbacks. In our retrograde help episode, we talk about looking for what area in your own chart, what house the retrograde is taking place in, or what where the planet itself is in your own chart. So I'm just encouraging you and myself to reflect deeply, because that is what Neptune is calling us to do, is to reflect deeply, to also, I think, accept and love what is happening now rather than expecting perfection or expecting some completion. Because Neptune is like, just wait. Just wait. It's going to happen. Just wait. Or it's not. Just wait. You know? So I think we have to like use that energy. There's also a collective, spiritual, retrospective because of it being in Pisces. So just know, like, maybe you're going to be feeling a lot of that stuff too. So anyways, respect to Neptune. That's all.
Look at you, your little good student of astrology, good witch award. You did that. You reflected. You did exactly what Neptune wanted you to do. You submitted. I'm shocked, actually. But
Thank you.
You submitted to that. Thanks. And look what it did.
Yeah. Neptune's my daddy. What can I say?
So good. I love that we ran with that last time. That's really good. It's great.
Definitely.
That's amazing.
There you go. There you go.
But look and see what she acted like on the last episode.
You don't have to do that.
That was great. Yes, you do. I demand.
Yeah, there was some brat energy happening there.
It was so good.
Yeah. Okay, what else have you for why, though, darling?
One little more thing.
Great.
Because I would be remiss, right, if I don't mention these quarter moons.
Oh, you love it.
I know. I'm the quarter moon fan club president.
Yes.
President and chief and founder and CEO and CFO.
Yeah.
And
I was going to say you might be the only member, too.
It's okay.
I'll join.
Will you?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you all can join if you want to.
Yeah, maybe you're automatically a member of that if you're a member of Dumb Witch Club.
I love that. You're just enrolled.
2 for 1. Yeah, exactly.
Immediately.
They're like, we don't want to be enrolled in that.
It's the paper behind it that you don't see. And we're like, oh, and you're just enrolled.
But you just have to check the box, accept all terms. Yeah.
That's right. It's in there in the fine print. Make sure you read that.
Yes, tell us about
quarter moon, July 9th, last quarter moon in Aries. So this is where the moon squares the sun. So we get some of that like friction, right? But remember, that's not always bad. Sometimes we need it. And in this case, I feel like we do. I feel like Aries is bringing in that Aries fiery tension. It's, Aries is what gets us motivated. It's like what lights our fire, literally. Like it's what gets us going. So I feel like it's a good last quarter moon to kind of harness all of this energy and just give it a little spice, give it a little fire. You might want to focus on like the energies that aren't serving you anymore. You could burn that if you want, or you could focus on the energies that you want to pull in. It can be either way, I feel like, with the last quarter moon.
Always. Don't you? Yes. Yeah. I definitely feel like, and so many things, you still have a choice in like what way you interpret or channel what is happening. So yes.
Yeah, and I feel like those midpoints, I think it's like, go with what you feel. If it's a sweeping away and a banishing, great. If it's a pulling in and a bringing about, great. Correct. Whatever it is that you feel, go with it.
100%.
Cool.
I love that. No, it's a great why, though.
Lots of energy.
I know. I was going to say, it's so energetic. Yes. I know.
It's good.
I know.
I felt proud of myself.
I know. I feel so proud of us.
I was like, you did that job, and like I did this, and like, wow, we're just killing it.
I know. We need awards.
Killing the game. And our card, like, demonstrated that too.
It did.
It was like, yeah, girl, like, you are doing it.
Yes. Like, buy yourself that ring.
Slay.
Buy myself flowers.
That's right. You can buy yourself flowers.
So, our big witch energy today is about creating your witchy home, room by room.
The kitchen. I love this.
Yay. I love this. I love this series. So, we've done just one in the series already, and now we are moving on to kitchen.
Yes.
So, how do you feel about the kitchen, darling?
I love the kitchen. I love the kitchen.
Yeah.
I was very excited about this one. I love the last one we did with like the entryway and the door. You should check that one out after you finish watching this.
We're telling them in this one episode to watch
15 others.
I know. And then I'm like, gosh, we've done a lot of content.
Yeah, we really have. People are kind of shocked about it sometimes. Like, wow, that's a lot. I'm like, I know.
It's because of our commitment that we're able to do this.
Yep.
For real.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you love the kitchen.
Love the kitchen. I know you do.
Yes.
I know you do. I definitely do too.
Yes.
It's one of the places I was realizing when I was putting my notes together. It's one of the places in my home that I feel like I have the most sovereignty.
Oh, I love that. I love that concept.
Because I'm mainly the cook.
Yeah.
And, like, it's not like I do all of the heavy lifting. My partner helps for sure and stuff, but it's where I really get to demonstrate who I am. And it's a space that, like, I preside over for sure.
And I think for a lot of, those of us that were socialized female growing up or identify as female, you are sort of raised in the kitchen in
Very
a lot
much.
of ways. And that can be like generational, or it can just be something you cultivate. So I love the kitchen as well. And I was also realizing that I think I mentioned before, like in my dining room and other spaces in my house, I have like witchy things and like kind of, dedicated spaces to have like crystals and different things. But whenever I do a spell inside my house, I always do it in the kitchen.
Oh, I love that.
And I didn't really realize that until I was thinking about this.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
Wow.
And it was not an intentional choice, like I'm just going to do these in the kitchen, but it's just always ended up that way.
I love that. And I can totally see that with you. Because, I mean, anybody who actually knows Jackie, like, this isn't shocking news, like, at all. Like, like, this is a place that, she is magical in. Like, with her cooking and her baking and just everything. Like, it's a very, like, forward part of you. It's the way that you show love. It's all these things. But I didn't know that that's where you create. I mean, I know you create magic when you're cooking and stuff, but I didn't know.
No, like actually.
Wow. I love that.
I know. So I was kind of thinking about the kitchen and just the way we feel about it, the way I feel about it, like how I use it for witchy purposes, but also just cooking and baking, like you're saying.
Yeah.
So I was thinking kind of like breaking this episode down into a couple of different components so that we're a little bit organized. So the first way I was thinking about your witchy kitchen was just in terms of decor and aesthetics.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like for me, one of the best and easiest places to bring that in is just like kitchen towels, like tea towels. And you can have around Halloween, usually, you can find a lot of super cute witchy stuff, obviously. But then you can keep it out all year round.
Yes, I love that. I was thinking about that too. Like, I feel like the kitchen, I think a lot of people might agree with this. The kitchen is a place where you can get a little bit more funky with stuff like that.
Yes, because there's like just small little pops of things, right?
Like stuff you wouldn't put in the rest of your house.
You can put it
in your kitchen, right? Or like, I'll like tea towels, like for like pops of color, like a little funny phrase on them.
Yes.
I don't buy other things with like phrases on it.
No, exactly. And you're not maybe buying like a couch that has like a print with like witch hats and teacups on it. But if I said the towel, I'm going to buy it.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Or like a coffee mug that has like a little phrase or like little, yes, 100%. And it's totally a place to get quirky and kind of funny and funky, I think.
And I bring in like a lot of color in that way too. Like even colors that aren't necessarily what I have in the rest of the house. I feel comfortable like really being bold about that in the kitchen. And it's so easy to switch out.
100%. It's such a small commitment.
Yes.
And you can be very seasonal about it too, which is also, I think, bringing in sort of that witchy factor. Is
100%.
Witchcraft is 100% seasonal and the flow of the year. So you can switch stuff out that way too. Or you can use like Halloween stuff all year round. And you can mix it all together.
Yeah, like we do.
Like we do.
We definitely do. Yeah, it's a fun, it feels like a fun energy.
Yes, and I also feel like so many kitchens, just the static elements of the kitchen, like the countertop and the floor and the backsplash and the cabinets, like you're probably not changing that stuff very often.
No.
Or if you're in a rented space, you're not able to do anything about that stuff. And a lot of times they make it very neutral and very appeal to everyone. So you really do have to bring in pops of your personality in these like kind of smaller ways.
Yeah, you do.
But I think it's enough because it really makes an impact.
It really makes an impact, and it just, it makes you feel even more at home in the kitchen if you're a person that really does feel at home in the kitchen, and I do. And again, like it's the place where I have a lot of sovereignty, so I get to basically like decide how I want that to be and organize it the way that I want it to be because it's my space.
And I think one more little place to mention is like refrigerator magnets or things that you would put on the fridge. It's such a, I feel like it can be like just like a throwaway, like a cluttered space, or some people love it to just be blank, and that's totally fine too. Yeah. But it is a place where you can put, you know, personality items, you can put like a wheel of the year calendar reminder, you can put moon phase magnet. I've seen these things that you can buy, and they're super cute, and you can just stick it on the side of your fridge.
That's a really good point because you look at that multiple times a day.
Exactly.
So yeah, anything that you want to kind of pull in that witchy energy, if you feel like you're not thinking about it a lot because it's not that visible, that's a great place to put it. It's always going to be visible to you.
Yeah, or even like your manifestations or your affirmations, like Post-it, you can put, you know, I think it's just a place that you go to a lot and you can use to help remind yourself of things.
I love that.
Yes.
I have a little magnet that says, I deserve potato chips.
Yeah.
That's a mantra that I believe in, and I like to see it every day.
100%.
There's a little bear on it.
It's adorable.
It's very cute.
It's amazing. And you do deserve potato chips.
Thank you. So do you.
Thank you.
So do all of you.
Definitely.
Yeah, chips are the best.
Amazing. I love chips. Ooh, don't get me started.
I know.
Okay, so as far as decorations, that's kind of, I don't know, did you have more in that area? Because I feel like we really covered it.
Yeah, no, I think that's kind of what I had for decorations. Like, that's it.
Okay, so I'm excited because now we're moving into what I was thinking about in terms of ingredients. So there's no doubt about it. The kitchen is a place where you take separate items and then you put them together and you make something new. That alone is magic, my friends. So if you have ever cooked anything, you have done magic in your kitchen.
Yeah. I was thinking about it too, like before you said that, you know, you do your spells in the kitchen and stuff like that. I was thinking
because that's the other piece of ingredients. Spells and witchy specific ingredients.
Right. But then even just in terms of, like you said, like even just cooking and making things in the kitchen is doing magic. It's honestly probably one of the ways in which I trust my intuition in terms of magic the most out of any other thing that I do.
Okay.
Because, like, I think we second guess a lot of stuff, right? And with other types of spells, when it doesn't involve food and it's like, you know, an actual just sort of traditional spell and you're putting things together, I feel like we get kind of lost in like, okay, making sure it's the right ingredient, making sure we're, you know, we take it very seriously and like putting intention in it. And like, with cooking though, I trust myself. I don't measure a lot when I'm cooking. Baking is a whole different story.
When you're cooking, you don't have to measure a lot.
I really don't.
I mean,
I really just use
baking
my
is
intuition.
a little different.
Yeah, you can't do that with baking.
Yeah.
I'm not a very good baker, so.
No, but what you're saying is like there is this freedom, this sense of freedom and this sense of self-trust, which again, like that is magic, that is witchcraft.
Yeah.
Trusting your intuition, following that, being creative, you know?
Yeah, like I know it's going to turn out good. Yeah. Like I just trust that I know the right amount, I know how long, I just know these things intuitively, and it's definitely probably one of the ways I trust myself the most.
Yes, and that's amazing, and you know, you can obviously cultivate that and in lots of places in your life, and you should aspire to that, but if it is more naturally accessible in the kitchen, I think that's awesome. Yeah. Cooking, also sticking with this like cooking as witchcraft moment here. I think cooking for other people, like we've already talked about, is a way that, you know, you can nurture people and care for people and put like a piece of yourself and your love into the world. But also cooking for yourself is a form of self-care in my mind. I think it's really easy if you're a single person. And look, if you're a single person on one night because your family's gone and you usually cook for them constantly and you were like, I'm not cooking a damn thing, I'm gonna, you know, good for you.
Yeah.
But if you're a person who's usually cooking just for yourself, or maybe yourself and one other person, I think it can be sort of challenging.
Yeah.
But I think seeing that as a form of witchcraft, as a form of self-care, of you, kind of like you deserve potato chips, right? You deserve to have a nice, warm, cooked meal, even if it's the simplest meal, and even if you're by yourself.
Yeah, I love that. That is so lovely. I wouldn't have thought of that. That's totally a Cancer Venus for you.
Well, yes, I think that is part of it for sure. That's where I know I just get all like, talking about like cooking in the kitchen. I feel like it's anyone can enjoy it and love it, but I feel like it is a reflection for me of that.
Yeah, it's a love language for you. It's the way that you show it, so it makes sense. But I love the reminder of doing that for yourself, because so often cooking, and back to like your earlier comments too about it being very associated with like femme identifying people, it starts to have that like, oh well, you're doing it as an act of service, which there's nothing wrong with acts of service if you're doing them willingly and you want to be doing them. But, that can get into like, oh, you're just always doing it for other people and it's never really about you. But I love the idea of like, you can nourish yourself. You can do it for you.
Yes. And it's so funny. This is like sort of aside, but I will just go ahead and say, I was talking to my daughter earlier today about how I realized a long time ago in like the upbringing of my children that if I was going to like cook dinner, that I had to do that for myself because I wanted to be the mom that was cooking dinner.
Right.
And not tell my kids or convey this message that I was doing it for them and then get mad at them if they didn't receive it the way I wanted them to, or if they decided to, go to a friend's house instead of eating dinner at home. I'm not saying not to have the respect to let someone know, oh, I'm not going to be eating dinner at home tonight.
Sure.
But it's more just this idea that I decided if I'm going to be a mom who cooks dinner, I'm doing that because I want to be that mom.
Yeah.
And I just think it kind of like flips that whole idea of like you're saying, if I could easily feel like, and I would sometimes feel tired, but I never felt burdened. And I think that was my choice that I was able to make.
That's amazing, because that is a significant choice. And it's one that you probably have to continue to choose.
Yes. I would remind myself of it all the time. I'd be like, I'm doing this because I want to. And then if I ever was like, no, I'm not, I'd be like, well, I'm not doing it.
Well, then I'm not doing it. I love that.
And y'all can eat cereal and you're not going to die.
Yeah, or chips.
Or potato chips. You deserve it. Go ahead.
You deserve it. Go ahead. You deserve potato chips. That's a whole
No,
other...
don't twist it like that. But anyway, I feel like that was a side tangent. But for whatever reason, I feel like it came up. So I wanted to share that.
I think that's good. And I think some people probably need to hear that, to be honest.
Yes.
Just to liberate themselves from that. Because I think, we're socialized to take some of those things on sometimes.
100%.
And we don't confront them. And then, we just keep doing it and kind of building resentment. And I think sometimes, especially if you're good at it, people just have this expectation.
Yeah, it looks effortless, and then people are like, oh, you can do that.
She can do it. You'll be fine, And sometimes it's like, I just really don't want to. Or like, really, can you just make the whole thing without me having to like step in? Like, it's really okay if you just like take the reins. But I think sometimes people don't quite know how to treat that because they know you do love it. So they kind of want to give you the autonomy. But then, so I think, as you're saying, you really need to set that tone for yourself and really make that kind of clear, because other people won't really know how to do that for you.
Totally. And if you're at the point where you're like, I don't want to do this today, or I don't want to do this anymore, you have to say that to people.
Yeah, you do. You have to say that. Advocate for whatever you need in those times, in those spaces.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I feel like but a lot of the conversations we have about something turn into these kinds of messaging. So I'm like, hope you guys like it. Okay, I do want to take a little turn now and talk about what kinds of ingredients you ought to have in your kitchen for witchy use specifically. So I think the number one, is very obvious to say. Salt, right?
How many times has Jackie talked about salt?
How many times? First of all, it is imperative that you use salt in your cooking, okay?
God, please use it.
Please season your food with salt, please. Anyways, salt is very useful in witchy things. I'm not going to even get into all the ways because we've talked about it before.
Yeah.
But salt in your kitchen, very good for witchy purposes.
Yes, and you're probably not using enough. Most people don't.
Agree.
Yeah, salt is great.
What else should people stock up in their kitchen?
Pepper.
Yeah,
pepper's important too. Just like salt, you have to have pepper. It's like a yin and yang. It's you have to have both.
Yes.
You have to have pepper. Pepper brings the spice. Pepper is associated with courage and energy and kind of activation. So it does that for witchy purposes too when you're using it in your food.
100%. So, okay, we have the basics, salt and pepper, which you really could use both of those in any spell that you do.
Yes.
But just I think the category of herbs in general, which there are hundreds and hundreds. Super common ones that you can get in like grocery stores and also have witchy applications. I mean, again, this list could go on and on.
Sure.
You could have like rosemary and sage and thyme and parsley and mint. I did have a couple of ones that I wanted to highlight and give some uses for. So one of those is chamomile.
Oh, I love chamomile.
And so chamomile is a really pretty soft flower. Well, it's a plant that has a soft white flower. It almost looks like a daisy type of flower.
Yeah, like a little daisy.
Yeah, but they're really tiny and the petals aren't really big. They're kind of like all compact. But you can sometimes get bouquets of them, like at, the grocery store and stuff too. Or you can grow it in your garden if you're so lucky. Or you can buy chamomile tea, or you can buy chamomile flowers from like Witchy shops. Anyways, lots of ways to get your hands on chamomile. So I just have a very quick little idea that you could do if you have chamomile in your kitchen. This is like a soothing compress, and you can use it for like your eyes, if your eyes are puffy, or anywhere where you might have like a bug bite or something that's irritated, on your skin. So it is 1 cup of boiled distilled water, and you want to use distilled water, not tap water, because this is going, on your body and potentially like, you want it to be the cleanest water. So distilled water. And then you boil it. And once it's boiled, not on the flame, you want to take it off the flame and pour it over 2 tablespoons, which is about an ounce of dried chamomile. And then you'll have that little basically tea mixture. And then you can soak like a cotton ball in that, and then you can lay it on your eyes. Wait till it cools down. Don't do it while it's boiling. And you can hold on to that in the fridge for a couple of weeks, and you can use it for medicinal purposes and soothing.
Yeah, chamomile is very soothing. It's lovely.
Yes.
I try to keep that on hand as much as possible.
You can obviously buy chamomile tea, and you can drink that as well.
Sure, you can.
Yes.
Yes, I do often. I like it at night. I know it's sort of associated with like a sleepy time deal, but I don't just drink it at night.
Yeah, I think it has like a really nice, like a soothing quality to it.
It does.
For whatever reasons.
I use it a lot in simmer pots too. I feel like I do. Yeah.
And if you have the flowers, they're so pretty, and you kind of can crumble them when they're dry and stuff. So anyway, that's chamomile. Do you want me to do my second one right now too?
Yeah.
Okay, so my second one is actually a thyme syrup.
Ooh.
And this can be used, again, medicinally, if you have like a sore throat or a cough or anything. It can also be used like to make a cocktail or a drink with. But what this thyme syrup is, it is an ounce or that 2 teaspoons, again, of thyme. We're talking about dried thyme. That same 1 cup of boiled distilled water that you pour over that. And once it cools down, though, you're going to pour in a cup of honey. So you're going to end up with kind of double the amount. And then you want to strain that once it's cooled, because you don't want the herbs like in there. You just want them to infuse into there. And then you can keep that for about a week, and you can use it for the purposes that I already mentioned. If you're going to take it medicinally, it's just like a teaspoon of it. And it's soothing your throat, and it can help you not cough or just help you feel warm and loved.
That's so nice. Yes. I could see that in a really nice cocktail.
And you can also make a really nice cocktail with this.
Yeah, that sounds delicious.
Yes. So anyway, those were just a couple of herbs that I wanted to highlight, and not just like cooking uses.
Yeah.
But other sorts of, witchy uses.
Totally. I love the idea of like, I don't currently do this, but perhaps when I have like more of a space to do this, it might become a thing. But I love the idea of sort of organizing your herbs and spices and things like that in your kitchen, like according to those purposes, or maybe labeling or having like a filing system, because they have like multiple uses, and it's hard to remember all of that off the top of your head. Certain ones you'll know like really well, but some of them you're not going to. So it would be really nice to like maybe have an organization system like that, or sort of, even that's magical in and of itself, is the way you choose to categorize and organize things and have them is going to remind you that that's like the ultimate use of them. So
yes,
one day.
Yes. No, I love that idea too. And I do think, people have different preferences and such, but having an organized space, especially in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
I think it shows or it reminds you of how important you are and how important your space is.
So true.
And it makes things faster when you're trying to do things.
It does.
So I really do. I love a system of organizing, especially kind of the way you're describing.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's one of the only spaces where I'm very committed to something like that. I have like other organization things, throughout the house, but the kitchen always really kind of stays that same way and the way I want it, and I'm a little bit more committed to keeping it that way.
Committed, yes.
Interesting.
I know.
Fascinating.
Yes. So, okay, what else do you have to say on herbs? Do you want to mention any other specific friends?
I am a big fan of vanilla. I feel like vanilla always brings in like loving energy.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. I really love allspice.
I love allspice.
Yeah, it's all purpose.
It's right in the name.
It's right in the name. I love it. It's associated with luck, and I can see that, but I just like it for witchy and food purposes in general.
Well, it smells very autumn and very like that warm spice kind of.
Yeah, anything like that I'm just gonna love.
Yes.
So yeah, those are a couple other faves.
Yeah, and if so, any of these like herbs and things, you could have like the uses that I gave those examples of. Obviously, there's many more for different things. But you can also just use herbs like on an altar. You can make a little jar. You can layer different herbs that are associated with different, feelings or manifestations. So even if you're not cooking with them or using them in a specific use, having them about in your kitchen, on your altar, in certain spells, like that's always going to be a good application too.
No, that's a really good point too. And I remember like early on in some of my practices, because I don't do most of my spell work in the kitchen. I do most of my spell work. It's sort of like the hearth area, I guess.
Yeah, it's sort of like adjacent, but not in the kitchen.
But not in.
Yeah.
And I remember in the past, like, thinking like, well, some of these things I store like in the kitchen because I'm using them, for cooking and stuff. Do I like take those out of there and use them here? Like it felt weird for a while. Like, well, wait, but that's over here. And then I'm like, I really had to like talk to myself, like, you dummy, like you don't have to have 2 jars of,
it's the
coriander.
Same thing.
It's the same thing. Stop doing that. Like that's so unnecessary. That's like capitalism speaking. Like you don't have to have separate. It's the same ingredient, and that kitchen is also yours, and like this space is also yours. So you can take it out of it. It's fine. But I don't know. There was just something in my head. Maybe like I don't know, like a parent in my head being like, "Don't take that out of the kitchen." Though my parents would have never done that. But
no, but it's like you internalize these weird things.
I don't know.
Sometimes.
Yeah, totally. And I'm like, okay, well, just as long as I like put it back and I'm aware of this, like I think it's fine. So
yes.
Silliness.
The last thing I'll say is a lot of ingredients for the kitchen obviously are available in like the grocery store.
Yeah.
But sometimes like witch shops have a wider variety of specific kinds of things that just aren't commonly sold, at least in the U.S. in grocery stores. So just to keep that in mind always as a resource. And the last thing I was going to say is always keep Eye of Newt.
Of course.
It's very popularly used.
Eye of Newt. Tongue of frog.
Yes.
It's very important that you have these. You can't.
Cat whiskers.
Yeah, you can't really do. Did we not say that? You can't really do any type of witchcraft unless you have those. So if you don't have those, I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking.
We probably should have said those first.
Yeah, I probably should have said those on like the first episode we ever made.
I know. Sorry, guys. Dumb witches.
Yeah.
So.
Dead man's toe as well.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Had a whole jar full of them.
Yeah. Need to replenish mine. So, but
yeah, look out.
Yeah. Anyway, just kidding.
I think that wraps up our Big Witch Energy segment. Yeah. Also, we were kidding about the last parts. We do have a spell of the week.
Spell of the week. New segment.
That was so dramatic. I loved it. Spell of the week. And Ashley, lay it on me. I'm so ready.
Okay, I love this spell. It's very simple. I feel like when I came up with, or when I, decided on it or whatever, I was thinking very like Cancer season, water, this, right? it's the easiest thing you're ever going to do, okay?
I love it.
So you're going to get a bowl, you're going to get a cup, you're going to get a vessel. Whatever it is, you're going to get that.
Could I use this?
You could use this teacup. I'm a big fan of doing spells in teacups, as you know.
I know.
It's a big thing. Yes, I kind of want to write a book about it.
Should do it, yeah.
I love it. Yes, teacups, totally fine. You're going to get some water, and you're going to get Jackie's favorite ingredient, which is, say it with me, salt. Okay? And what you're going to do is you are going to mix that together. Now, if you are trying to bring energy in, you're going to stir clockwise or diasil. If you're going to get rid, of him, dump him, you are going to stir widdershins. You are going to stir counterclockwise. Whichever way.
I'm dead right now. Like, I am dead. This is so good. This is so good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I really love it. You're going to do this. And as you're doing this, you're going to be thinking about what you want to bring in, or you're going to be thinking about what you want. Oh, I heard you. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then you are going to dip your finger into this vessel with this salt and this water and this intention and all this beauty. And you're going to take it out. And you are going to draw a sigil, a symbol, a letter, a word, whatever you want, okay? Mm. You're going to draw it on yourself. You're going to draw it on your door. You're going to draw it on an item, a picture of the person. Whatever it is, wherever you want to put this, you can do multiple. You have a whole cup or a whole bowl. And you are going to channel that intention into that symbol. No one will ever see it. It's completely invisible, but it is the most powerful thing because it's water, it's salt, it's you, it's all of it, okay? And that's going to stay there until you don't need it there anymore. And if you don't, you can easily wipe that away. It's just water, it's just salt, no big deal. You can also just let it sort of go. You don't have to, intervene at all. But it's cool, it's simple, it's easy.
Okay, this is why she gets paid the big bucks. Okay? Amazing. I'm dead. I have nothing else to say. So until next time.
Stay witchy, friends.
Woo, and stay dumb.